wife and I had been foster carers with a local authority for about 6 months or so before we decided that we wanted to move from the LA to work with a fostering charity. And we made that decision for two reasons. The first was that we wanted to work with a fostering charity and a social worker who were able to give us independent advice. There were lots of changes in the girls' care plan at that point of our current placement, and we were struggling to work out what was in the best interest of the girls and what was being done because of the system around the kids and what felt like the easiest decisions for everyone to make. And so we wanted to work with people who we knew could be independent and help us to advocate as well as we could for the girls. And the other reason that we wanted to move was that we wanted to work with social workers who just had more capacity, who weren't dealing with so many different cases and so many different placements to manage. And social worker, when we were with the LA, didn't ever meet our kids apart from very briefly in the kitchen because she just didn't have time. It wasn't her fault, it was just never realistic for her to do that. Whereas our current social worker has been around and had dinner with us a couple of times and has met the girls, and because she's met the girls, she's able to give us really helpful and really insightful advice. And in that context, we decided that we wanted to work with TACT because their offer for training is really impressive, because we know their social workers has loads of time, because they're independent from the local authority, so they can help us to advocate really well as well. And then on top of that, because they reinvest all of their profits back into taking the best possible care of vulnerable children, it was a really obvious values match for us as well. It took us around 6 months or so to transfer from the local authority to TACT, and lots of that transfer process were very similar to when we were first assessed to be social workers. We had to get friends and family to write references, we had to draw our family tree, we met with an assessing social worker as well, and it all finished in our panel date. And there were times when it felt like a lot of work and a lot of effort to transfer. And we never doubted that it was the right decision for us, but particularly when we got to the other side of that, and within the first month, we'd had some difficult situations, and our independent social worker had been really supportive and really clear about what was in the best interests of the kids in our care. We immediately knew that even though we'd had to do lots of paperwork and it had been quite a lot of hard work, that we'd made the right decision for us and for our placement. The biggest change for us in terms of our transfer from the local authority to TACT has been around the amount of support that we get. We don't feel like we're on our own anymore, but we know that we've got a supervising social worker who we can WhatsApp whenever we want to, who'll pick up the phone when we call her, who's there to give us encouragement and advice and support when we need it. We're part of a wider group of TACT foster carers, and so that means that there are opportunities for us to meet other carers. There's a chance for our kids to meet other foster kids as well. And on top of that, we get access to loads of really helpful training in how to be therapeutic parents and caregivers, the practical things like first aid training, all the stuff that we know we need to take the best possible care of the children that are placed with us. Transferring from the local authority to TACT was without a doubt the right thing for me and my wife to do. But we know that not everyone will be in the same situation, the same position, and so make the same decision as we did. When we were considering what to do, the question that we found it really helpful to ask, and maybe you do as well as you consider what the right thing is to do for you and for your placements, is what puts us in the best possible position to care for the children placed with us. Because we decided to become foster carers because we wanted to make sure that children had a safe place to live. And for us, part of that means that we're able to be the best possible foster carers that we can be. And we know that to be the best possible foster carers, we need to be in places where we're supported, we're cared for, we're being encouraged, we're being trained to the best possible standard that we can be, that we've got supervising social workers who get us, who get the kids that are placed with us, and who understand and can offer appropriate advice and be there for us. And so for you, that might be working with a local authority, you might be working with a different fostering charity, but in making that decision and recognising it's a really important thing to decide and to weigh up, for us, we knew that going to the place that was going to help us take the best possible care of our kids was the thing that we had to prioritise above everything else.